Hello. Today I'm chatting about a question I get asked quite often, and it's a little website tip for you. So, the question I get asked is, should I be putting my pricing on my website? It's a great question. And I actually did a little experiment to really dive into the facts and see whether it makes a difference or not. And I was surprised by the results. So, the answer is coming up. So I'll go through the experiment first. The first thing I did for 6 months was have all of my pricing on my website, and that was working fine. I was getting lots of inquiries, lots of initial consultation bookings, and then people were converting to clients. I was getting a very high conversion rate from inquiry to booking, actually booking as a client. It was probably around 95% were converting. So that was excellent. And I really didn't have any pricing questions during any of my initial discovery calls because they already knew the pricing before they even spoke to me. So that was a really good result. So I did that for 6 months. Well, I'd been doing that for much longer, but the time I'd been measuring was a 6-month period. Then I decided I wanted to know whether it would make a difference if I took the pricing off the website, whether that would increase inquiries, whether it would decrease inquiries. Basically what would happen. So I took all the pricing off. Instead, I replaced it with a button that said, download my services guide. So I created a PDF document with all of my services, all of the inclusions in the packages, the pricing and everything, and put that behind a button on the website. So every service, instead of having the price, said for pricing, download services guide. For packages where I had multiple packages, for services where I had multiple packages, I would list a starting from price. So pricing from. So just say it was, I have 3 different types of website packages. I had pricing starting from whatever the price was. And so I did that for 6 months. The results really surprised me. I thought that I would have an increase of signups to my email marketing list. I thought that inquiries would increase. I thought everything would elevate. But the absolute opposite happened. Absolute opposite happened. People stopped subscribing to my mailing list. My inquiries dropped. My bookings dropped, my conversion rate dropped, everything dropped. It was like I fell off the face of the planet. People hated it. They just didn't, there was, like I said, no one subscribing, no one wanting anything, no one, even discovery calls, it all dried up. Crickets, absolute crickets. So I did that for 6 months. I hung in there. And after 6 months, I thought, well, I've given it the same amount of time as I did for the first. So guess what? My pricing is back up on the website, and for very good reason. I've gone from a 95% conversion rate, which is brilliant, to practically nothing because I wasn't getting the inquiries to convert. So I can't really compare the conversion rates. They were abysmal, I say. So I needed to delve a little more deeply into why this was happening. And on talking to people, the reasons are quite valid. And it's you need to really consider this when you're deciding whether to put your pricing on your website or not. So one of the very first comments people make is they felt like I was hiding something. Like I was just baiting them to get their details, and then I was going to hook them in and start spamming them and, DMing them, getting into their inbox way too often and just annoying them. They thought that's what the result would be. They also thought in the hiding things that my pricing would be way overpriced, and they weren't interested in that. So it gave a perception of me being overpriced and me being secretive. So that created a feeling of distrust, which is totally not what you want for your business, is it? You want people to trust you, but this had the complete polar opposite effect. It caused distrust. So that's a really good reason to not have your pricing on your website. The second thing people said was, and I'm looking down at my notes here, they don't have the time. That's right. They don't have the time to do the whole sign up process, to then download the pricing and services guide and then work through the whole thing to find what they need. They're already on your website. They're already where they want to be. Now they just want to know how much it costs, but you've taken that, I've taken that away from them. So they're where I wanted them, where they wanted to be, getting the information they needed. And then the next step, I made it really difficult for them. So they felt it was difficult. So that's the second thing you want to avoid when you're trying to convert sales. People visiting your website to booking a call, to booking your services. You want to make it as easy as possible. Well, I was complicating the process. I was making it really hard and they hated it. So that was one of the other feedback. Another one was it's like, and it leads into the one I've just said, I just want to know. If it's not there, I just want to know, and I'm not going to be bothered doing anything else. I don't have the time. I don't have the interest. There's plenty of other competitors out there that I can go to and get what I need straight away. So by removing the pricing, it was creating a huge set of obstacles for my potential clients. So it had the absolute opposite effect of what you would think it would do. My thoughts initially were, I will test this, thinking that, other marketing gurus have said, take your pricing off, you'll get more inquiries, you'll get better quality inquiries, and you'll get higher conversion rates. Well, from this test, that is rubbish. That doesn't work. And particularly, I'm talking about service-based businesses. Obviously, if you're a product-based business, you would never consider not having your pricing on your website, because it's a completely different market. It's a completely different way of presenting your business online. And it is essential. And it's the number one golden rule for product-based businesses. Pricing must be front and center and really, really clear to navigate. For service-based businesses, there's always been this little query box. Do I put it on? Don't I put it on? How much of it do I put on? So I'm laying it all out here for you. Put it on your website. Have all of your pricing on your website. If you've got special packages that are a little more unique or a little more custom, that is fine to have a starting from price, because you're being really open and transparent and honest with all of your other pricing, but you don't want to clutter up your website with detailed pricing on intricate packages or something that's going to be more custom. But you're still giving people a guideline and being completely transparent about all of your other services. So people won't resist that. They're actually okay with that. So get your pricing on your website. One of the reasons people don't put their pricing on their website, well, there's a few, is their thoughts are, and along the lines of what I've said, they want to get people onto their mailing list. Well, clearly that doesn't work. It works in the opposite. People go on your mailing list if they feel you're giving them value, if they feel you're giving them something for nothing. But giving them a pricing guide, you're taking from them. You're not giving to them. They don't care about downloading your services and pricing guide. They don't care. They just want the price. So you're taking from them. They feel like you're being demanding, you're being sneaky, you're not giving them what they need, and you're expecting something from them without even, going on the first date sort of thing. So that works in the total opposite. You're not going to get people on your mailing list. You're going to get less on your mailing list. Then people were put off by not understanding the value of what you're offering. So if you give a starting from price, people were thinking, oh, I can't just put my pricing on the website because they won't understand what they're getting, and it will be an obstacle when they're on the discovery call to me, and I need to talk to them to explain it to them. People don't want that. They don't want you to have to explain it to it. That's why you need really good copy on your website, because that's going to explain it to the people for you. That's the purpose of having great website copy on your website. So you're overcoming that obstacle with great copywriting in the right place on your website. So it answers those questions for your potential clients. It removes barriers, it deletes obstacles, and it creates a need to know more and work with you. So that's where copywriting is critical on your website. So if you're floundering around, making people download this and go here and go there, you're confusing the process, you're annoying people, and you're not getting the right messaging across. So you really want to make it as easy as possible for people. So that barrier that you have for wanting to talk to people and explain your services and everything, well, that's what your website's for. So get your website to do that work for you, and it's going to do two things. It's going to attract the right people to you, and it's going to repel the people you don't want to work with, who aren't right for you, because not everyone's right for you. So if you have all the information about your product or service on your website with the pricing, that's what you need to do to get more inquiries. Sounds counterproductive, but from this test, it's obviously not counterproductive at all. And the third reason that most service providers don't put their pricing on their website is because they want to keep it a secret from their competition. Well, there's going to be copycats out there. I mean, I have had so many instances where my copywriting, my content, my pricing, my structuring, my packages, they've been completely ripped off. I've had other copywriters, other website designers, other service businesses just basically copy and paste my content onto their website. Now that annoys the hell out of me. It is, highly unethical. It's rude, and that's my work. Don't steal my work. And so I understand the frustration around that, and it's wrong. People shouldn't do that. Now, there's a whole other avenue we could go down talking about that, and that's a conversation for another day. But don't let that be the reason you make obstacles for your clients, because whatever you do, someone's going to copy you. Someone's going to emulate what you do. So take it as a lesson. If it's really becoming a problem, there are legal paths that you can go down, and you should go down. But if it's, but there's some things that you can't stop them doing, and that you can't hold them accountable for. So you really need to talk to an IP lawyer about all of that stuff, and that's not me. But don't let that be the reason you don't put your pricing up, because those copycats, they're really not impacting your business, because they clearly are trying to get to where you already are. So they're a few steps behind you, and they'll stay there because you're already on your path forward. So don't let that stop you. So at the end of the day, what I've found is taking your pricing off is going to hurt your business. People hate it. They won't trust you. They won't like you. They won't communicate with you. They will just wipe you and move on to your competition. And that is so not what you want. So have your great content on your website. That is crucial. So having the right copywriting is going to answer all of their questions. It's going to overcome the objections. It's going to create a lovely know, like, and trust factor for people who visit your website. Having your pricing on just cements that know, like, and trust, because you're being open, honest, and transparent. People will only deal with people that they feel are being upfront with them. So if you're upfront right from the beginning and give them what they need in an easy way, they're going to be more likely inclined to work with you, or to just even book that initial call. So, and that initial call will run so much more smoothly because they trust you, they like you, you've given them all the basic information that they need in a way that is easy for them to consume, because they're not having to click here, enter this, download this, scroll through that, and then finally, after 15 minutes, find what they want. That's not a good customer journey. It's not a good client experience. So put your pricing on your website. Don't worry about the copycats. Use your freebies to get people onto your mailing list. Have a really good freebie that adds value, that gives potential clients something that they need, something that's going to help them, something that's they're going to open up and read and go, oh, wow, this person really knows what they're talking about, and they've put a lot of effort into helping me for nothing. That is what your freebie is for, and that is how you get people onto your mailing list. And you need to advertise your freebie left, right, and center to get people onto your mailing list. Your services and pricing guide is not for that purpose. So separate the two. Services and pricing guide is you wanting to get something from your potential clients. Your freebie is you creating a relationship and giving something of value that people are going to want, and then they will give you their email address for that. So separate those two things. They're two completely different beasts, basically. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. It was made it crystal clear for me. I was absolutely gobsmacked by the results. So, and data doesn't lie. The data can be looked at it from any angle, and it is telling the same story. And the same story is people don't like not seeing your pricing. If you want to get more bookings, if you want to get more sales for your business, if you want to be working with more clients, put your pricing on your website. So I hope that this was helpful. I'll see you next time.